Almost 3 years ago, a game was released by a little-known game developer. It became the best action game of 2023. I decided to replay this game right now, because I had a feeling that this is not just an action game. And when I immersed myself into the world of Armored Core 6, I realized that this is one of the most overlooked FromSoft masterpieces.
Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
On the surface, Armored Core 6 is a game about robots, but really it's so much bigger than that. You wouldn't expect just a game about robots from FromSoftware. It has such a deep lore that Vati Vidya made a 5-hour video just discussing the lore of this game. If you follow the story and pay attention to what is happening and to the characters, it will hit you really hard and you might get pretty emotional. The sadness of what is happening to the planet of Rubicon, how desperate everything is when huge corporations fighting against each other to get to the resource that is basically a lifeline for the people of this planet. On the other side, there is a planet closure administration, which is like a governmental thing, and they want to just close this planet because it had an accident once. Coral, the resource, started to burn and destroyed everything.
They called it the fires of Ibis, a storm of flame that tore through the stars, leaving lethal contamination in its wake.
And the PCA, they are not with the corporations, so corporations are just following their interests, fighting against each other for this resource. And you are just a mercenary. You will fight on one side, then you will fight against that side that you were just helping. This game was released almost 3 years ago, and I played it right away. But for some reason, I just had this urge to feel that world again, to get deeper into the lore, and to take a look at this game from the other angle. Not just fighting with robots. FromSoftware, they just cannot make a game without this deep lore, amazing story. But of course, they don't explain anything to you. But if you will get into it, thanks to the channels like Vati Vidya, he shows all the FromSoftware games from a different angle. And I enjoy those games so much more after watching his videos. In my opinion, you should watch first 15 minutes of Vati's video about the lore of Armored Core before you will start playing it. I think this will help you to understand the world more and you will appreciate the game more while you're playing the campaign. Armored Core may be one of my favorite games in terms of its vibes and the story. This is FromSoftware's storytelling philosophy. They trust you to find it. They make the gameplay amazing, but if you will take your time and try to understand the lore and the story, this will add so much into your experience. The game doesn't show you any humans. The lore lives in the logs, dialogues, in the character descriptions. And logic-wise, it kind of makes sense that you are an augmented human that doesn't have any emotions, that is just used to control the mech and to fight. And you don't understand anything what is happening. And that makes sense. But when you read the dialogue, when you look at what is happening, everyone around you talk in a way like they've been there for a long time.
I hear you're deploying V1 again. Must be rough only having one good pilot to rely on.
Are you suggesting your dog can take Freud's place?
You'll see. Just give us the chance.
And it's up to you to figure this out by yourself. It's like full immersion into a nameless character that you are. Then you pick up a license of a mercenary. That license belonged to someone named
Raven.
And then the world reacts differently to you when you have that name.
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
It seems that they know who was that mercenary, and that was not just some unknown dude. The story is not shoved in your face. The story is like a puzzle. For me, puzzles are always interesting to solve. With each mission, you start to understand more on what is happening. And when you realize what are the tasks that you are doing, you start to feel bad.
I can't die to a merc pulling kills from credits. Land a direct hit. This time. I just I just wanted to call Silent Hill.
The same gameplay feels different than if you watched or read Dune. This game is definitely inspired by that world. The resource here, coral, it's basically spices. There was a debate back in the day that this game has a bad graphics. Now I'm playing it 3 years later and I still cannot comprehend it. Like, how do you call this bad graphics? Someone said that FromSoftware should have switched to Unreal Engine 5 a long time ago. Yes, of course, that's an amazing decision. That's the best gaming engine that existed. The performance is superb. It's the same that people complain that Elden Ring has bad graphics. Every frame looks like a painting. Nah, we don't like it. Let's switch to Unreal Engine. So this game will look the same as all the other games right now. But damn, the landscape, the scale, they kinda nailed this post-apocalyptic, industrial atmosphere. Color palette completely shifting between chapters. Each location has like a distinct style to it. And the moment when you understand how big those machines are, it starts to become even terrifying that something this huge moves this fast. And then you take into perspective the size of the buildings comparing to you. So what is their size comparing to a human? It adds up to the understanding of this world. That a machine can be like 5 kilometers long. When you traverse the world, you feel that there was a lot of things here, a lot of people. Now it's just empty. You feel the loneliness, and all that's left, some machines, some mechs from different corporations. And there you are, just destroying everything on your path. And you understand that the things that you're doing are not good. You cannot do anything with it. That's your mission. And you're just a half human with no emotion that has to obey to handler Walter. You know, I realized what made games so immersive when you were a kid. Our fantasy worked so much better. We fantasized about everything that we saw in the game. We added our meaning to things. So when you're just playing an action game, you approach it in your brain like it's a role-play game. And when you put your imagination into things, the experience is more rich, in my opinion. But in our world with social media and scrolling where you have no place for you to think, to imagine, everything is shoved at you and you don't have the space here to insert something of your own into the game or any piece of media that you're experiencing. And when I'm trying to concentrate, to focus on the story, to get immersed into it, as we usually do on this channel, the enjoyment of the game also shifts. And what I like about FromSoftware games, they leave a lot of room for you to make that. They don't shove a story into your brain so you will not even think about anything. And actually the best way to understand the vibe of this game and what were the developers striving for is to listen to the soundtrack. When you listen to it, you get this vibe of sadness, of loneliness. You have the tension, but at the same time, there is nothing happy about it. Then you add sound effects that have this bass boost and they are so punchy and heavy and powerful. And combining this fast, heavy and flashy action with that soundtrack makes this game unique. Of course, it's not just about the vibe and the story. I try to emphasize it because I think that's the thing that a lot of people are missing from this game. The mech building is really deep. Combining all the different parts, different weapons, managing your energy, managing how fast are your boosts. Will you prefer energy capacity or will you prefer how fast it will recover? Do you want to be just a tank that brings all the heaviest weapons with you, or you want to be fast and agile and jump around the enemy? Now I have a complaint. I don't know about now, but back when it was released, there were some overpowered builds, like meta builds. Even when you try to roleplay and you get to the hard boss and you cannot beat it with your build, there is always an option to turn on the easy mode. It's the temptation to do that. Take that meta overpowered build and destroy the boss on the first try. I haven't finished it the second time right now, but what I want to do to just roleplay. Like, I want to create a fast and agile mech that uses mid-range weapons, but after that closes on the enemy and hits them with a blade. And I will try a different build later because there is New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus. If you want to see the whole story, uncover everything and play alternative missions and make alternative decisions during campaign, you will have to basically complete this game 3 times. And I don't think really you will get bored. When you fight with the mech that you build and you created, the winning feels much more earned. But I guess if you're deciding to play this game for the first time, you should pay attention to the weaknesses of your enemies, of the bosses. Some bosses have a very high kinetic defense, so the simple bullets will not take it. You will have to use some explosives, or you will have to break their shield with some pulse weapon. Understanding which weapon works against which enemy is also very important. So what do we do when we build our AC? We use it. That's one of the strongest parts of the game, the battles, the action. No wonder it won Best Action Adventure back in 2023. Doesn't matter what you assemble, it's a FromSoft game. You have to get good to learn boss patterns. You have to learn how to dodge them or how to parry them or how to block them. When you do all these combos, evade at the right time, boost at the enemy and then hit them with a laser blade and then you just one-shot them, that feeling gets you into the flow. Or when you chain 2 Gatling guns and you just overwhelm them with sheer amount of bullets, it feels so good when your build clicks with you. And at that moment, the graphics, the sound design, everything is blending into this. A lot of people quit this game on the boss of the first chapter because this is basically a filter, a skill check. But you know, I lost to him so many times and I didn't really care. If you played, you know how amazing that battle looks, how much of a spectacle it is. Yes, there are some movements that you have to learn to avoid because they will probably one-shot you, but come on, that's a FromSoftware game. We had this for a long time. It's just this game is so fast that you have to focus on it really hard. And checkpoints are not far away that you have to go through the whole map. You just restart the boss. This game is not for everyone. This game has its issues. But on this channel, I'm not making a review. I'm not talking about technical issues, about balancing problems. I mention it, but I don't want this to be a main focus. I have enough of negativity in my life. I just want to praise something that makes me feel something. I wanted to mention, I created a Discord server. I never did anything like that. And we can connect there and discuss the game recommendations, the games that made you feel something, or just talk about this hobby. And I also created the subscription tiers on YouTube. If you want to support the work that I'm doing with these videos, you can have a shout out in the video and you can join the private Discord chat where we will be talking about the future ideas and discussing this life and this hobby and gaming overall. I never did something like this and never asked people to like support me monetarily for something like this, so this is pretty uncomfortable, but I guess that's how it works. If you haven't tried this game, give it a chance. And if you have tried it, leave a comment. What do you think about this game? Do you feel the same way as I do? We all have our own opinions. Stay safe. Thank you.